Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Humpday Happy Hour Hangout. I'm a little dark because I've got a critter blocking my light. How you doing, buddy? Howley, right below the frame right now. Welcome, everybody. There he goes. Welcome, everybody, to Wednesday. Caldera closed because we got him in-house, as you know, from yesterday's spectacular episode. Loved that episode. I hope you guys did too. I had, a good 2 weeks into that episode of editing. It was a lot. 30 minutes plus long. Man, when am I going to learn how to do an 18-minute episode and get it out the door in, 5 days? Cheers, everybody. Cheers. Welcome. Oh, we're missing a light. There. How about some pink? Holly ran off and is now eating. He's chomping off to the side. What do we got going today? Well, I've got a viewer system, and we can talk about these Caldera closebacks, which, guys, I'm telling you, they still smell new. It's amazing. I've got a real fetish problem with that. So yeah, that's what's going on? I got an invoice from something. Who's invoicing me? Why are you asking me for money? Oh, accountant. Yikes. Yeah, we got to take care of that. Back here is the Aegis amp. It's in very good shape. I did some listening on that. I started getting my preliminary thoughts together, and I've started assembling what will be the next. Well, getting the script finished for what will be the next. Wow, frog in my throat. Next Director's Garage episode, which is going to be crazy epic, guys. Crazy epic coming your way. I personally, that's going to be one for the all ages and spectacular. It's the product that I'm going to unbox is in a flight case. It's huge. I haven't even quite figured out exactly how I'm going to film it. It's so big. I think I'm going to need to clear the whole desk off here and use the entire desk somehow. It's a logistical craziness. How I'm gonna have to shoot that. I'm just not quite sure how it's gonna go down yet. But it's gonna be epic, and it's a very expensive product. It's insanely incredible, and I think if you're into this stuff, that's going to be an episode to see. I've got in-depth reviews coming soon of this Caldera closed, and we're going to do an individual breakout for the ZMF Aegis, which that's probably going to go first because I feel like I need to get that one back on its way the soonest, because I can't afford to keep everything. However, I just started doing some listening with it, and very, very impressive. It stacks up very well to my other amplifiers in house. It has its own little characteristics, I think. But it's a great tube amp. There's no, that's, now you don't need to watch that episode. I've already given it away. Welcome. Cheers, everybody. Welcome to Wednesday. Oh my gosh. Get your comments in the comments, questions, comments, thoughts, anything you wanted to know about, that I can tell you preliminarily about these from having had these aren't everywhere yet, they're still getting out there. So it's just neat that we've got something so early in the production line and got a chance to really spend some time with them. I need to do way more listening on these. I've been focused on that amp. That amp has me intrigued. I'm going to confess these are very Caldera-like, and they should be because they're called the Caldera closed. So I think that there's a little bit, less of an anticipation on my part to dive in on this, and it's no fault of the product. It's just I own the Caldera and I listen to these, and these have some unique attributes which I certainly appreciate, but it's like there's a similarity factor there. The amp is all new. I mean, this is new. This is like totally uncharted territory, and I think that's the one you all are most going to want to know about too, because it's an unknown entity and it hasn't been heard by a lot of people. So very cool, very cool. I spent most of last night checking out and doing some swapping between amps and running the signal through and making sure I've got matching levels and things like that. And I'll do some more of that this week. But oh boy, it's really an impressive piece of kit. And it has a lot to bring. Really. Nice power delivery, solid power delivery. It's got some punch to it that I haven't quite got my head around yet. For a tube amp, it's got some punchy attributes that give it a little bit of a solid state flavor, but it's not. It's definitely not, you know. Very cool. So it's a very cool design. I actually want to see the schematic of that for the review. I'm going to be going a little bit into, I want to look at some of the electronics and see what they're doing inside the cover of this thing, because I think they're doing some special things. And I'm not going to be shocked. I haven't seen it yet. I'm not going to tear Zach's brand new amp apart to go hunting for the parts I'm looking for, but I am suspecting to find some serious capacitors inside. That's my guess, but we'll see. We'll see what's there. Very, very impressive though. It's really had my attention, caught my attention, as it were. What else is going on? Just lots of work this week. I've got a nightmare shoot tomorrow. It's going to be an 8-hour shoot, so I'm going to be very, very busy. No, there will be no shooting tomorrow for tomorrow's show. And I probably won't shoot tonight either, because my voice will be shot from doing this live stream. So maybe Friday I'll shoot the show, and then I don't know if I'm going to be able to get it out in a weekend or not. I think it's going to be another long episode. I think it's going to be another big episode. Hey, I got to check let's see how we're looking. I think I should be good, because I based these off of last week's setting. I'm just talking about my camera here. Oh yeah, you can be quiet for a while. I don't need to hear all you. Let's see. Let's go to line. Let's just check it out real quick. Oh yeah. Yeah, I think we're good. Come on, play. What if you pushed a button and it didn't actually do anything? Yeah, okay. Maybe I'm dead. Maybe I died. Nope. Well, if you're not going to show it to me, then I'm not going to look. I'm going to trust that I'm not too dark. I'll give myself a little juice just to be... Oh, yeah, that felt better. I don't know. Hey guys, we'll go to the chat in just a second. We've got a viewer system here today, as I mentioned earlier, and I'm excited to dive into that and show you guys some photos, because we got some good photos today, and that's always good. It's Ace of Spades who sent us his gear, so should be really cool. Well, it is really cool. I saw some of the photos. Didn't do too deep a dive in it. I just kind of copied them over to the laptop so we can take a look at them. But yeah, that's what's going on. What else have I got? What else is happening? What did I listen to last night? I was listening to some unusual. I did some Stevie Ray Vaughan last night. I did some really fun music. Kind of went back to some Rudy stuff that I haven't been into for a while. What was that? What was that I was listening to? Elvis Costello. That's who I went to listen to some old Elvis Costello last night. It was really fun. Really nice night of listening to start getting acclimated to that amp so that I can do a review. I've got this thing going on with my keyboard. I have this Bluetooth keyboard, and this is always, you know, fraught with complications, but I've been using this style keyboard. I've gone through 3 or 4 of these because I drop water and iced tea on my keyboard often, and they clonk out. So I keep an extra one around and whatever. But this particular one, I've used this one for a long time with no problems. And this one, for some reason, loses its Bluetooth signal quite easily. So I've got to, and I've found myself, I have to move anything metal out of the way of between, because my computer's actually in front of the desk and down. I've never had a problem before, but with this particular one, it loses Bluetooth sync. So I don't know why. Let's jump into the chat real quick. Any comments about or questions about the ZMF of it all? Please feel free to ask. More than happy to explain anything further that I didn't explain. These were the one thing I didn't say in the video was that this. Well, I did say it, but I didn't. Maybe I wasn't as clear because I saw a comment below. The headphone and the amp were sent to me to review by Zach at ZMF. I knew he was going to send me something. I did the blind thing. I told him not to tell me what he was sending me, and then I didn't read the emails anyway, just to make sure I didn't find out, because I really did want to be surprised. And I really expected I thought he would send me the bokeh or bouquet, if you prefer. And then, you know, I was thinking homage. I didn't even it didn't even register in my head that he would have the Aegis ready to go. So it was a genuine surprise when I'm opening this box and I'm like, oh my, this is something different. This is not that little beautiful RCA radio amp. This is a big dog. It was a lot of fun. Howdy do, says Tommy V, and Ryan checking in with a cup of coffee. I'm sure he's driving somewhere right now. I always catch him when he's in his car. JTB pulling back a message on me. What was that about? Thinking about the Joseph W. Cheers, Joseph W. Welcome to the live stream. Thinking about an upgrade from the HE-1000 V2 to a used Caldera, worth the cost and hassle. Well, the HE-1000 V2 is one of my all-time favorite headphones, and the Caldera is a very good headphone also. I didn't own them both at the same time, and I never compared the two direct. They're both relatively easy on the easier side to drive. I'm just trying to think back because that's a question I haven't considered. If I was looking at one or the other, I think it just comes down to they're both in kind of the same lane. They're actually reasonably similar headphones. I think the Caldera is probably a little more technically advanced than the HE-1000 V2, but it's been so long since I heard that headphone. I'm not sure I would trust my memory over your experiences. If it's going to make you listen to more music, I would say go for it. If it's going to reinvigorate your passion for the hobby, I would say go ahead. I don't think there's harm in going to the Caldera. The Caldera is an excellent headphone. And so is the HE-1000 V2. That was a headphone. I've said it all along on this channel. I wish I hadn't sold them. I wish I would have held on to them. At the same time, I needed to sell them to get the channel going because I needed to buy some things to keep the products to get some products in here, and that was what I sold to afford that was like my gateway drug or something, one of the gateway drugs. And I was very fond of that headphone, and I still am. So I don't think you're hurt by keeping the HE-1000 V2, but if it's something if it's something you're interested in, go for it. You know, you won't be disappointed, I don't think, by this headphone, or by the Caldera open back, which is in the background. I'm just not going to get up and get it right now. And I brought this up because Ace of Spades says, howdy. And Ace of Spades, we're going to look at your system in a little bit, so stick with us. Caldera closed looks fire, doesn't it? I mean, doesn't this... and aside from the smell, and we all know I have a fetish here, they feel tactile in your hands. They're very much... They give off... Oh, I got a little pad slippage here. Oh, my God. Zach would be horrified. The little subplate is poking through on the top, right up here. I had my overhead camera in. I should use that, but I think I got too much crap on the desktop right now. Anyway, you know how you do the bicycle tire thing with these pads. Pain in the butt, but they remind me, like, in feel, even more so than the Caldera Open, they remind me of the Atrium that I love so much back here, they have that feel to them that you just can't keep your hands off of them. They fit, they have an oddly comforting feel. It's sort of like a fidget spinner kind of thing. Like they just feel good in your hand. They really do. It's amazing. This is a great product. And as I said in the video, the thing that's going to keep me from purchasing this particular pair, I would want a darker set. I would want a darker, like, I don't know about, this isn't my style. I like the Atrium and I like the Caldera coloring, so I would probably want something in, you know, more of a special wood if I was going to keep them. That said, I don't know that I'll be buying these because I don't know if I have a need for a closed back another closed back headphone around here. I don't use them that much, so they're unique, and I got to spend a lot of time listening to these to find out if they're, you know, if they're better or worse than even my open backs. But I don't think the stage is as wide. That was my initial impression. I don't think that's going to change, and I love the stage of the other headphones. So I don't know that these are for me anyway. If I did buy these though, I would get a more darker. See how this edge of the, see this grain? This grain is the grain that I like. This part of it, this open cut here, is too bright for me. I'd want something that's a little more down on the down low. Looks on the down low. But yes, as far as, I mean, I'm so happy that he's trying some different motifs on the side of these. It's going to be interesting to see his next couple of headphones, where he takes the we aren't doing, if he's going to really stay glued to that we aren't doing round anymore ethos or mantra. Mr. Dynamite, yo, 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 everybody! Farid says, love the impressions on the Caldera closed. Pardon me, I'm about to cough. That's what I get for swallowing my tongue. Oh, everybody, it's Wednesday, and it's a short week in America. So we're liking that. Only a 4-day work week. We like those. Love the impressions on the Caldera closed. I think you can mention its drivability with DAPs. He has a Cayin digital audio player. I'd like to know if he can drive it. I haven't tried it with a DAP yet, but I don't see why. I don't know that would be a hindrance. This is not an impossibly difficult headphone to drive. It's you know, if you can drive, I don't know what headphones you're driving with it now, and I have a Cayin N8, but it's not working right now. I need to reflash the memory on it and set it back to its original thing because it's acting a little funny. Actually, it's playing fine, but it won't sync to the computer anymore for some reason. I don't know what happened. But will it drive it? My gut says on high power you should be able to drive this headphone. That's my gut. I will play with that. You know, give me a little asterisk wiggle room on this for a couple of weeks until I get to this review, because I will definitely try it with some softer sources and see if see how easy it is to drive, and I'll put that in the review. But good question, Fareed. I don't off the top of my head have that answer because I haven't tried it with that. I've just literally finished the episode Monday night, and yesterday I spent listening to the amp, and that was it. So, you know, it's too new to me to give you an absolute on that. I would say likely you're going to be fine. The other thing I would tell you is this. Ask Zach. Just email ZMF, and they'll tell you. They'll tell you, they'll tell you point blank, because they have all this stuff. They know how it's capable of being driven, and it may come down to like yes, you can drive it. It's going to sound a lot better if you drive it with something more authoritative, with a little more substance to it, a little more power to it. Mr. Dynamite says, ordered some Arctic cables yesterday. Can't wait. Do you use boutique cables or no? The answer is yes. I have a few. This is a cable for my Sysfara, because they came with those horrible medical tube cables, I call them, because they look like an IV or something. You would put an IV in. And I can't remember who makes this. Is it stamped? No. There used to be a thing on this, but I may have worn it out. Maybe it's on here. Oh, it's this is a Dyson audio cable, and then my most expensive one. Well, this cable comes with Modhouse, and this is a custom cable, and I can't remember the name of it. And it's not. They don't put the name. They just put the logo on it, so I can't tell you off the top. But this comes. This is a custom that came with that, and then I've got the. The answer is yes, I use custom cables. I'm trying to remember all these names and I can't. I have the, oh brother, what's the name of that cable? It's this black and white deal here. This is an 8-weave. Oh, Axios. It's an Axios by Kimber cable. Axios by Kimber cable. I just had to look at the cable. Sorry guys, the names are just out of my head right now. I was writing scripts today and I've got word scramble in my head. Yeah, Axios by Kimber. That is a very expensive cable. It's probably about a $2,500 cable. I bought it used for a huge discount. Somebody was just trying to unload it and get some money for it, and I threw out a number and he took it, and I'm like, great, because I wanted that. That was a cable that I had tried at Can Jam and thought, wow, this is really cool. So I'm like, I want one. And I kept my eyes open, and one came up, and the guy was just trying to unload it. So I'm like, here, I can give you this for it because it's all I have. And he's like, sure. So I picked that up as and it's terminated. It's terminated for the ZMF standard, Meze standard. Oh, and I have one other one here. Because I'm pulling everything else. Now this is, while we're talking cables, let's talk. Zach sent me a pair of cables with all of the ZMF stuff to check out. This is a new cable from him. This one goes about, I think it's about $400 or $500 from ZMF. And Zach had built cables in the past, but this is a 4-into-2 cable, and he also does a, no, I think he may do one that's a little thicker than this too. But very cool weave. I'm a big fan of this silver cable. I actually am considering buying one for myself to have around. And then I have this Norn cable that I purchased for my Dan Clark Audio Expanse, which I sold. So now this cable has no pair, so I'm going to probably send this back to Trevor at Norn and get these re-terminated for something else. I'll either re-terminate it for 3.5. I kind of have a lot of other cables here for the ZMF standard. So I may do those in 3.5 and pair them with the Sysvara and some of my other headphones, just to have them. And it's a nice. This is an unbalanced, and maybe I'll go to a 4-pin on that. That would be kind of a cool thing to do too. Anyway, but yeah, this is a beautiful cable by Norn, and Trevor over there has. I've bought 2 cables from him, and both of them are exceptional. Both of them are exceptional. I love those cables that he does. Shout out to Norn Cables. So yes, the answer is yes, I do. Now that I've got my head cleared, Mr. Dynamite, I do have some boutique cables. What do I think of them? I don't think they make a difference at all. I honestly, I think that this is, I think I like the look of a custom cable. I like the bling of it. I've yet to hear a cable other than something that's poorly terminated or has an electrical current problem that gives me some kind of night and day change. I think cables are cables, and I understand that there are some people, there are people who swear by custom cables and like, you know, this silly 2-into-1, single-stranded ZMF is not worthy of my system. And I'm like, I tell you, I couldn't hear the difference. I probably couldn't hear the difference. But that said, I love a custom cable. I like the way, I just like the way they feel. I feel better when I'm wearing them, and that's good enough for me. But if you hear a difference in your cables, cheers. I have no problem with somebody who has a different experience than me. I'm just telling you my experience, and that's that I probably couldn't, you could put 5 cables next to each other, and as long as they're passing electrons, we're going to be fine. Had something else that triggered something else in my head, but I can't remember what it is. It's like on the tip of my tongue. Anyway, JTB says those ZMF tube amps and all OTL tube amps work better with 300 ohm headphones, correct? I don't know. I don't know enough. The Ken is the person to ask about that, because Ken is our resident amp guru. He really knows these amps far better than I do. I have a 300B amp, and I have this amp, which is an OTL, the 300B. But this is single-ended too, though, because you're only going unbalanced into it, so you're not getting full. You can't send it a balanced signal. So I'm not sure. The set amp, I have a set amp that's the 300B amp, and the Woo WA5LE. And by the way, my initial impressions, and I'll give away a little bit of what I found out last night. There's not an earth-shattering difference between my WA5LE and this ZMF. I don't allow me some room to explore further, but my initial impression is they're not all that far apart. They have very similar sound signatures. There are some nuances to the sound that are different between the two, but nothing so far that would make me go, oh, I have to have this amp instead of that amp. They're reasonably similar in sound, to the point where I think that I'm probably more hearing a difference in tubes than I am the rest of it. They have very similar sound, like basically sound shapes. I wasn't getting a massive, little bit of nuance difference in, stage and imaging and, slight bit of punch here and there, but like nothing is like, oh my God, this is a world of difference, and I love my Woo, and I know I just can't live without this 300B. And likewise, I was listening to the Aegis, and I'm like, great headphone. They're both great headphone amps, and both very quiet. there's a lot to love about each of them, and there's no, like, I wouldn't stop tomorrow and go, oh, I have to have this one. I've got to sell the other one immediately. They're in the same ballpark. Slight differences, but nothing major. So I'm not sure. This isn't a push-pull amp? I'm not sure, because there is no. It's not an unbalanced signal going in. It only takes an unbalanced signal. So I don't know. Afternoon, Ken Workshop, our brother from Amp Goodness. Ken, glad you could make it. Just have a short bit, but enjoyed the Caldera Aegis review. Now he wants to build one. Ooh. Yeah. Ken, I'd love to see what you did with what you would do with one of those, with that plan. It looks really, you know, even if you don't like ZMF and you don't like, you know, all these things, you can't look at that amp and go, wow, that looks awful. Because this thing is a piece of beauty. The meters, the retro switches, the dial, the volume knob. I mean, it's pretty to look at. And then the way he aged everything, man, oh man, it's so good. So good. So good. Hipster Cow, howdy, gents. The new ZMF amp sure was something. Absolutely beautiful looking. I only wish I had the cash on hand. Me too. Me too. But I mean, like, I don't know that I'm gonna need another tube amp sitting around here. So fine to do it, but I would probably get rid of the Woo. Don't know if I can really do that, because I've got too much money in the Woo. So I don't know. Have you gotten a chance to try the LCD4 at the Aegis? Nope, haven't done that. I heard that's a lovely combination. I'll definitely get to that when I do the full review of that amp. Gearing up for the next episode, though, I'm going to have to do that. Unfortunately, Neil has joined the conversation. Yes, Aegis. Enough power for him? Neil. Neil, you can never have enough power, man. You never can have enough power. The Vegan Vicar. I like that name. Hey, cheers. He's liking his HE-1000 Special Edition. Looking forward to the Tungsten arriving soon. You and half of America. Ryan, are you assembling Vegan Vicar's headphone right now? I hope so. He's waiting for him. Man, oh man. God, that Tungsten. What a great headphone. And there's a reason that Ryan is so busy, and, you know, I mean, he's produced something that everybody wants. It's the hot hand. It's probably the headphone of the year, you know, certainly in the top, you know, everybody's talking about that headphone right now. And it's the same with this Caldera closed. I think this is getting a lot of buzz around the industry. And it's really going to be interesting. What I really want to do is, like, pull all my notes for the E3 and run this against the E3. I think this headphone is going to make everybody who is considering an E3 rethink that. You know, if it's better to wait a little bit, save the extra money, and dive in at the Caldera closed. Just on drivability alone, like, you know, just on drive, you know, there's things. Comfort level, yeah, I'd definitely say the E3, but you know, literally half to a third of the power that the E3 required. These things just boom, you know, you're good to go. It's fantastic. Neil Snyder says the new The Audio MK3 in shrink wrap for sale, $850. The Audio, is that the Monarch Mark III? Which model is that? Bought for the grandchild, and they do not want. They're crazy, man. Neil, you tell them they got to learn how to appreciate quality sound. Caldera or Atrium? J.E. Cans asks. Oh, sure. Oh, that's like. That's like, you know. That's tough. That's like, do you want Dom or do you want Cristal? I love Cristal. Dom is classic, though. The Atrium is, you know, that's more of a traditional headphone sound. The Caldera is more of a reaching headphone. Now, one thing that I've got coming our way, and I'm going to do this on a live stream, I've got a filter, a physical filter coming. Where's the Caldera? Oh, it's way back there. Shit. I've got a physical filter coming for the Caldera that I'm going to install live on the show. We'll do it during the live stream. But it's a filter that's supposed to slightly alter the treble response and just smooth things out a bit, like in that 6 to 8K range. And it's an interesting proposition that I'm willing to explore. And it's not an expensive fix. I ordered it from ZMF. It's a $20 thing, and Zach is going to send it out. But I just want to try it with the Caldera and see what that does. But, you know, they're both great headphones that scratch different itches. I don't know. I don't know that I can make that call. It's like there are times when I want each for different things. If I want to do critical listening, the Caldera is that headphone. It's going to give you everything. You know, you go deeper into the music. But the Atrium is that comfortable shoe that just delivers, and it's less choosy about tracks and quality of the source material. It just is effortless. It's more like it's a jacket you can wear to any event and you'll look good. The Caldera is the tux. I mean, it's a more sophisticated and trickier headphone in some ways to pair music with, because if you put a bad track on the Caldera, it's going to sound like ass, you know? So I don't know that they just serve different purposes. That's a question I don't know that I'd want to go without either. And I'm thrilled to have both here. And I'm grateful that I'm lucky enough to have afforded both of those headphones. And certainly grateful that Zach did a little bit of a tweak job on my Caldera and sort of did a different finishing job on them. I think I like both of them. The Atrium, if it was, and here's the thing too, and I know I'm getting stuck on this question. I'm sorry, guys, but it's like it's got a lot of thoughts going inside of my head. Here's the thing too, the Atrium. This would have been an easier call before I put the suede pads on the Atrium. Before I found the suede pads in the Atrium combo, I would have said Caldera. It would have been a very fast Caldera. But after I tried those suede pads, it changed the Atrium so much. I've got a love affair going with that headphone right now. So, I don't know. I'll just say Atrium for now. But it wouldn't have been Atrium until I found those pads. And I actually have a bunch of pads I haven't even tried with the Caldera yet that are waiting in the wings. I just don't have time. I haven't had a lot of time. The Vegan Vicar says, and I'm trying vegetarianism, Vegan Vicar. I don't know if I can go full vegan, but I've been doing the plant thing a lot. I'm into it. I just can't say goodbye to cheese. That's it's my Achilles heel. It's like I'll die if I don't have cheese. Donate them to a minister from the Philippines. Awesome. Awesome, man. Thank you for your work down there. Whatever you're doing, I'm sure it's great for kids and the community. JTB says, Joseph W., as someone who has owned many HiFiman HE-1000s and a Caldera, I'd say no, not worth the cost and the hassle. That's a fair argument. I think that they're both very good headphones, and the HE-1000 is an absolute bargain at the price they're selling for right now. So you're not going to get, you know, you're talking about a multiple of 2 to 3. Well, 2.5. I don't know. Like you can probably get into a used Caldera for about $2,500, $2,800 right now. And the HE-1000 is selling around $1,200, I think. Maybe a little higher. You know, you're not going to get that much, you know, it's diminishing returns for sure. But are they, you know, on pure sound, they're probably a little bit better. They're probably they're a little faster. But I don't know. Like I said, it's been so long, I don't know if it's fair for me to do that. Arctic cables are fantastic. I'll use Gladius. Okay. I'll check them out. I'll check out Arctic cables. I'm not sure. This is a brand that I've heard 1,000 times, and probably after I see the way they're constructed and I see a couple of pair, I'll go, oh yeah, I remember those. But they're not. I've heard the name. I'm just not sure. Because another brand that I used to hype up. There was this guy in Canada doing a thing called Toxic cables. I'll just type it. It's going to be faster. God, this keyboard. I'm telling you, boys, it's just the struggle's real. Toxic cables out of Canada, and that guy was doing like crazy great silver cables for just a couple $100. It was such a steal, but I don't know if he's still doing them or not. But I used to contact him over, I think, eBay. Like, that's where I found him. And I was like looking up silver cables, and like Toxic came up, and this guy's like, yeah, I do them. I construct them at my home. It's my kind of my hobby, and I sell them. And I'm like, great. And he gave me great prices on them. I used to buy all my cables from him. Now I don't have any. Kwani says Aegis would be overkill for him, but a cool feature set. Yeah, it's got some nice stuff. But there's, you know, that's the thing too, is the Woo feature-wise is a more robust amp. So that's another side of it too, when I was just thinking about the differences. It seems Mr. Dietz has left the chat. Oh, wait a minute. I think there we go. I got ahead of myself. Neil Snyder says AKSP 3000 and PA10 arriving today. Congratulations, Neil, man. You got some gear on the way, man. I'm still with the SP1000 here. It's fine. It does a nice job. I'm like, it does a nice job, and it streams title. I'm like, what more do I want in a thing? I'm like, these DAPs. The biggest problem with the DAPs is they depreciate so fast. You gotta buy used on the DAPs, boys, because you're just, the second you buy the thing, the second you open the box, it's like it drops $1,000 in value. They just drop like a rock, and like you'll see them on the market, and some people trying to sell them for like $2,500. I'm like, nobody's buying them for $2,500, though. You know, like, good luck with that. Amps retain value. JTB, the Aegis actually has output transformers, but yes, if it was OTL, then they would do better with high performance, high output headphones. Thank you, Ken, for dropping that bit of knowledge on us. That's interesting. Yeah, I didn't think it was OTL. Vegan Vicar says he has the Con Alpha. That's cool. Would love to get the tube version of the 3000. Yeah. But is there still, I haven't looked into this. I know that when they did the 2000 and the 2000T, there was actually a power drop, but when they put the tube in, like they lost some power out of the natural power out of the amp, out of the DAP. Is that the same with the 3000, or did they keep the power in it? That's something to always consider. Neil Snyder just purchased the Palace V2. I don't know what that is. Hybrid. Mr. Dynamite, congrats. I don't know what it is. Ryan Dietz just got an email from Gishelli saying his Irish 3 Ampus coming this Friday. Shocked at how fast they made it. Took 10 days. Usually it's an 8-day wait. think Rachel pulled some strings. All right. I'm not as familiar, JTB, with Geshelli. That's just not a brand that I've jumped into, but you have been singing their praises, and you and I have very similar tastes when it comes to this stuff, so it wouldn't surprise me if I was into it as well. I just haven't been down that path. It seems Mr. Deese has left the chat. Yes, we talked about that. He's probably around. He's always lurking. He just can't always respond. JTB says, Ken Workshop. Thanks, Ken. He's got an OG Lyre 3 with APOS. That's a shit amp. APOS 6SN7 reserve tube. Oh, I just ordered tubes today. I should tell you about them. I just ordered... What did I order? And then I want to go to Ace of Spades system. I want to show that off. Because we're at 417. Wow. God, time's flying today. We're going through some stuff, boys. We're going through a lot of material. What did I order today? I ordered a pair of 6SN7s today. Because I'm going to try something with the Woo. And the order I placed was for Kenrad VT231s, which are compatible with 6SN7s. And can I show? How could I show this off? Can I get a picture of this? Oh, damn it! No, that's not going to work. Well, maybe I can go to it here. Maybe I can go to it here. Let's see. Let's see what I can do. Hang on. eBay. Yes. Okay. So let's see. Whoop. I'm not going to. Wow. The human thing. Though you know how they have those things like the puzzles where you have to select the right images? Okay. Let me find my eBay purchase history. Because I just bought... Here they go. Here we go. Can I get to this without showing off my username? I made a little boo-boo last week on the show. I had to do a quick edit. Okay, we can do this. Okay, so hang on, folks. We're going to go to my laptop of death, and I'll show you the tubes I bought. And I was just doing some reading on AudioGone and like some guys talking about them, and they said that these are some really good tubes to try, and I just thought I would do it. Okay, Crow and... Let's do that. There we go. Okay, so here, ignore my music playing in the background here. These are the tubes. These are Kenrad VT231s, and they are 6SN7 compatible, and I'm going to use these in the Woo. But these are supposed to be pretty smoking hot tubes. So I'm kind of excited about this. They'll be here sometime next week, probably. So I bought those. While we're over here, hang on, let me come back to here, and I'll go find... Let's go take a look at Ace of Spades viewer pictures. Ace of Spades been chatting us for a while, and let's find our downloads. There we go. There we go. Okay, all of these. Need 2 hands for this. Boy, sorry. Open with preview. Here we go. Okay, let's check out Ace of Spades photos. I'm going to try and do this in order. Oh, I don't have them in order. Okay, whatever. Let's go to it. Let's go to it. Let's live wide. Oh. Okay. So there's a speaker. This is the backbone of this system. I can't see what that amp is, or what that DAC is down there. Oh, here's his desktop. Okay, so let's start here. This makes sense. So he's got a RAW headphone, it looks like. And what's that tube back there? What's that thing? Let's zoom in on that. Working the Mac. It's not a low. What is that? Okay. An Oris Audio. He's got the Oris Audio amp back there. Let me pull up. Maybe he gave me a description with this stuff, so I'm not guessing. Okay. So here we go. We've got the Oris HASE2, the MySphere 3.1 headphones. That's this wonky looking headphone, and then he's got a tube amp, and then a Burson Soloist. That's right back there in the background. See that there? That's a Burson Soloist, and then topping pre-90. That's this guy right here. He's got a nice little setup here, man. Event monitors, 2020s, like that. Whoop, those are the events. Very cool. Oh, we got close-ups. Oh, we got more pictures. Oh, this is awesome. Here's the Burson, and here's the topping. Very cool. Oh, there's the Oris. Does that? That's a beautiful amp, brother. You're living life. That thing's gorgeous. I thought it was the wall for some reason. Here's the MySphere. Now I think I've heard these, and they're really an interesting. They give you that 3D kind of effect around your head. It's like living in a symphony hall or something. Very cool. Very cool. Those are his headphones, main headphones. So cool. Look at the Oris, man. Wow. Yeah, I'm down. I think my favorite part is this amp. That amp is just, that thing's a beast. That's a beautiful looking amp, man. Congratulations, Ace of Spades. That thing's looking awesome. He's got an IE600, a Focal Celeste. Oh, wait a minute. There was a picture of that somewhere. Where's the Celeste? Oh, it's this picture that got screwed up. Hang on a second. Let's see if we can. Oh, there we go. Here's his portable rig. He's got a Celeste and the iFi Go Blue and the Hip Deck. That's this one that looks like a little flask. And then his Sennheiser IEMs. So awesome. Look at this. It's his little workstation. He says he has a bigger listening room system ready to go too. Thanks for sending these in, man. Ace, that's just killer, man. That's a great system. That's a great system right there. Man. So good. Okay, so let's go back to JTB. He's not tested. This is from Ken talking about JTB. He's not tested enough with various headphones and tube amps to make a solid recommendation. And I haven't really either. Vegan Vicar says he can hear very subtle differences in certain cables. I have no beef with anybody who says that cables make a difference to them. They just don't to me. I just, like, I can't... I just can't, like, it's like the differences are so nuanced and subtle that I just can't, I couldn't, like, say, oh, I favor this over the other. There might be a little bit of a difference, but not enough to make me significantly go, oh, I want to spend $2,000 on a cable. It's just, I just want to touch it. Okay. Talk about contact info publicly. Email Michael. Yeah, email me. I can put you guys in touch. Alanetta, oh shoot, caught a Director's Garage Live Hangout. Alanetta, man, cheers, brother. Thanks for stopping by. I've been getting a lot of heat in the chat, by the way, like on the comments. People are not liking my music. I'm like, I don't care. It's like, I was getting beat up, like, these using too much of the custom music. I'm like, okay, well, do your own show. Like, I gotta do what I like, you know. I gotta make a show that I want to make. I'm having fun with it though. Vegan Vicar, very subtle differences in cable. Okay, we did that. Sorry, my chat just jumped around. My stupid mouse wheel. Someday I'm gonna have a mouse that works and a keyboard that works. Kind of hard to write for a living when you can't do it. Yeah, Neil Snyder. Yes, it's the Monarch. Okay, great. Yeah, Monarch. I heard the first series Monarch, but I never heard the 2 or the 3. They get raves. A lot of people like them. Pretty good IEM, I'm sure. Nephilim. Hi, guys. Finally made it. Long one today, Michael. Your video was outstanding. Well, thank you. Shucks. Looking forward to your Caldera closed and Aegis impressions in a full review. Yeah, we'll do those as 2 separate videos because I want to give both attention, and I also want to make shorter episodes. 30 minutes is too long. I should have split that up. I didn't. It's much tougher to edit because you got to keep track of a lot of different things. You want it to make sense from beginning to end. And I broke it down in the way that I saw fit, but I think there would have been better as 2 separate videos. But it was a fun episode. It was fun to do, to get to hear all that at once and get excited about two great products from ZMF. And like I said in the video, I mean, can these guys make a bad product? I mean, like they're just, it's like they're just on fire right now. Everything they're putting out is hot. It's all really good stuff. And that's a good place to be. Nephilim did that. How to configure critical likes the Monarch 2 better than the 3. Corinne and I usually run polar opposites. He likes stuff that I hate, and I hate stuff that he likes. I'm like, at least from what I've seen recently, I haven't been on his site in probably a year. I used to like look over and like every now and then see his reviews of some of the IEMs because I'd be looking for what I was going to try. And I haven't done IEMs in a while. Somebody emailed me privately and asked me if I would, my opinion on IEMs, like, is this better than that? And I'm like, I am so I told him point blank, I'm like, I have not done enough IEMs lately to give you a quality answer. They were asking, what would be a good alternate to the KSE-1500 because they saw I had the KSE-1500. And I said I couldn't tell you. I just haven't heard enough new stuff and spent time with it. It would be so unfair to anybody else making, I know what Noble's been doing. I kind of know what Empire Ears has been doing. And a little bit of Unique Melody from the show when I sat down and I listened to some of their IEMs. But I spent nowhere near enough time with them to make a quality assessment. So, and I just tell you point blank, I don't know. I told him I just, I could offer up an answer, but you'd be far better to, flip a coin and guess, because my answer would be not, worth it. Worth the wind that it took to produce. Neil Starr says he wanted a slightly tubey amp. If he wanted a slightly tubey amp, what would it be? The WA33? That is a howitzer that is buying a howitzer to accomplish what a pea shooter would do. WA33 is a massive tank of an amp. That's not a slightly tubey amp. That is a tubey amp. Slightly tubey amp. I would, Neil, if you like just wanted to dip your toe into an amp, I would look at like a WA22. Nice amp, but you can find one used for probably about $1,000. Allow you to do some tube rolling. It's a push-pull amp. It'll drive a lot of stuff. You'll have a good time with it. I don't think it's powerful enough to say push the tungsten, but for most headphones it would be just fine. And you kind of get that little itch scratched. I would do the 22 before the 30. The 33 is like you're in deep at that point. You're diving in. That's kind of like something that I would do. Like I didn't just buy an electrostatic headphone. I wanted to go to the STAX. I was like, well, I should have kind of worked my way through the STAX. That would have made more sense, but I didn't. I just dove in at the 009 and then the number 009S, and then I just kind of went for it all on the first go. Alan says, hey, listening on the Caldera closed. He's been going back and forth for between the mesh and the even no mesh with the same pads. Lots of tuning options. Yeah, I have not done a deep dive into these yet. I've had them for... I haven't listened to them that much. They've been on my head very little, in fact, because I'm focusing. The first episode is going to be on the amp. The first review episode of this will be on the amp, and I'm just and I'm only going to have a couple of days to do it because then I'm going to have to get into production on that mega Grail shipping case container. I'm going to have to get into that episode, and I don't listen to other things while I'm constructing an episode. It's just not the way I work. I can't like compartmentalize like that. So there you go. But I will spend time with these for sure because I'm going to do a full review of them. I just want to kind of, I think the Aegis is the thing that people are most interested in, and it's also the product that I feel like I owe Zach to get back to him first, because it's such a hot product. He's got a lot of Caldera clothes running around. I don't assume he has a ton of those Aegis amps ready to roll. So I feel guilty that I have it, so I want to get the guilt off my back. It's just the way I work. I have decided, though, I'll tell you in advance, and it's no fault of the amp, I don't think I'm buying that amp. I don't think it... If I was going to buy another tube amp, it would have to offer something very different from what my Woo does. I've got so much money invested in tubes and in capital into that Woo amp. I don't think it's ever going anywhere. It's a great amp. It doesn't need to go anywhere. You know how I feel about amps. A great amp is a great amp. There's, you know, the new kid on the block, as great as it is not going to like radically reinvent how electrons go through tubes. You know, it's going to give you, it might give you a slightly different flavor, but it's not going to like change everything. There's just not enough movement, and a good quality amp is a good quality amp. It was good when it was made. It's good today. Headphones, those will change. Those will give you totally different things. Those things are things to swap out. But the gear, once you get a solid set of gear, you're going to have to, you know, really do a lot to convince me to part with signal chain stuff that I purchase and keep in the, you know, the only headphone, the only amp that has changed, like made me go, oh, maybe I want that, is the Anlium 23R, only because of the way it drives the Susvara. I didn't like that pairing with the other headphones. I didn't like it with the Caldera. I didn't like it with, like, I favored my other stuff much more. I just thought that it did something very special to the Susvara in particular, and probably the Mod House, but I didn't have the Mod House when I had that amp. So there you go. What was I talking about, guys? Tuning options, yes, and like I said, I have a tuning kit coming for the Caldera Openback that I will do live on the air coming in a future week, probably next week. It'll be here by then, I think. Barry Douglas says, Director, your glee was so inspiring on the ZMF package and made him think of Christmas morning when he was a kid. I know, man, I mean, first of all, Zach overshot. I was not expecting anything like that. I mean, you know, let's face it, you know, they say, know your place, right? I know my place. I am not a major player in the headphone review world. I've got less than 10,000 subscribers. I'm kind of an oddball. I do kind of a more fun, relaxed take on this stuff. I'm not a serious reviewer. I just kind of give out my thoughts and we go from there. And for him to just open up the floodgates and go, here we go. Here's my 2 hottest products. Have at it, Michael. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. That says a lot about Zach and the kind of guy he is. And my reverence for him is very high anyway. But yeah, I was frickin' thrilled. Which suede pads are the ones you're using on the Atrium? They're just the suede. Hang on. They're nothing special, Barry. I think they're just the standard suede. I think he only makes one suede option. It's a perforated suede pad. And it just, if you email me, Barry, I'll send you back. I'll see if I can find the exact name off of a product line, or actually I can find what I bought from him that did that. But it's just a perforated suede pad. There's nothing like there's nothing out of the ordinary. It's like not like a special headphone pad. It's just his generic suede perforated pad, and it just changed that headphone so dramatically. Agree about the suede on the AC. Also, like the Dakoni LCD suede pads on the AC2. Yeah, it's just something. There's something about the suede. This is the thing. Before I had the suede on the Atrium, this is the open back I'm talking about, not the closed L&N. But this totally ran opposite of what I expected. I expect a suede pad to tame highs and suck up some bass, because it's got all of this extra surface area. That's what's, suede is an uneven. So your leather pads are very smooth. They're going to pass through, maybe even give you a little bounce off of the surface of the leather. This is just, me thinking like an audio engineer. A suede pad should absorb stuff. And what this did was it opened up the top. I don't know, like I was not getting under the lambskin pad that I know and love and have used on everything. Perforated lambskin pad. The upper end on this was muted, and it was just a very safe sounding treble. This suede pad opened up the top. It added sparkle, it added dimension, and it changed my entire feeling about the Atrium. Massive change. That was my experience, what I heard. Vegan Vicar says the above edition XX diminishing returns is massive. I don't know. I don't have the edition XS. Fareem, I'm going to start blasting through a couple of these. And Ace of Spades, thanks again for your photos, buddy. I just was looking over here, like I see your photos still up. And if you guys want to send your photos to me and get them on our show, we will not make fun of anything. We will not criticize. This is just for the sake of enjoyment. You can send your photos to directorsgarage@gmail.com. That is my email. It's my personal email. You can get a hold of me because I'm a moron. Tell people my info. Probably should just remain a mystery on the web. Can't talk to me. Fareem says, if you could have one ZMF wood type, what would it be? Oh, man. It's going to be this... this is, I think, an aged cherry. I think it's an aged cherry. It's this. It's this here is for the Atrium, the aged Atrium. That's my favorite wood that I've had here. I also like the maple burl. A burl is always pretty. I mean, the burl is one of the prettiest woods. So maybe I would go with a burl. If I could have any wood, that would be it. How much wood would a wood moron have? How much wood does a man need? I think that I like a burl too. The burl, like the gnarl on the wood when they polish it just right. When Zach did I had the Verite open back. Man, that was great. That was a great looking headset. A little on the sticky side on the finish though. Would have wanted a more, maybe a slightly muted finish, but that's crazy, man. That was a great thing. Okay, I got to start chunking through because we've got a lot of chat to get through, and I don't have a ton of time left. And I've got to find where I'm at in the chat. Goodness me, where am I? I'm sorry, guys. I just completely lost my place in the chat. Oh, here we go. Got it. Found it. Oh, jeez. Wood type, yes. So burl for me. That's going to be my final answer. Toxic Cables was Frank Doney. Unfortunately, he passed away a few years back. Oh, yeah, he was... boy, what a great guy. I'm sorry to hear he passed. I didn't know, Nephilim. He did such great work, and it was not like it was just he was just doing it he made a little money on it, but he didn't like overcharge. I actually felt a little guilty, like I probably should have been paying more for the cables, because it's pure OCC silver cables. Let's try that again in English. Pure OCC silver cables, and they were beautifully woven together with high quality connectors, and he charged you for parts and made a little money on the side. It was just a little side business. He was out of Canada, and I bought so much from him. I kept him busy. Fog City Cables in San Francisco. Work great, reasonably priced. Okay, I'm going to copy that. Not that I have money to be spending on cables. I don't know why I'm copying this, actually. Nope, it doesn't want to copy because I have a great keyboard, remember? Hey, there we go. Worked. Guys, I'm telling you, struggle. Both his DAPs were bought used. Smart man, Vegan Vicar. What's your opinion on the $50 cable you bought from Moondrop from Audio 46? I thought it was great. I still have it. I still use it. Where is it right now? I don't know where it is. It's not at the ready. It's probably sitting in... Oh, no. Is this it? Nope. That's my... This was my... Oh, this is my gateway drug. Fellas, I bought this. This is an Effect Audio 8x4. It's a Leonidas 2 Octa. Oh my God. This is phenomenal. And then, because of the IEMs, that's where I really got into this. And I got into trouble. I also bought this one. This is Elitech. And I love these kind of... The joiner on the Elitech is like second to none. I should do the screw it. It's too late in the show. Elitech, great cables too. But there's a feel to this Effect Audio cable, but they charge so much money. That was an $1,800 cable, and I think I paid list for it. Ooh. Cheers, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Happy hour. Great video this week, says Brian. Cheers, Brian. The Aegis is a thing of beauty. Wish he had the desk space and the money for one right now. Recently got the Caldera closed, and he's blown away though. Yeah, well, it's an impressive headphone. It certainly impressed me out of the gate in my first listen, and I expect to have more hijinks along the way with this. The one thing I noted on these is Zach made it impossible for me to keep these because they're stamped demo right here, as if a warning sign. Michael, you are not allowed to keep these. Put demo on it, just to remind me that I got to send them home at some point. Oh, so fun. Yeah, the Aegis and the price on it couldn't be better. It's a $3,200. Woo! It's a great price for that amp. For the craftsmanship and the quality, the effort that he put into that. That's a if I didn't have a tube amp, that would be the one I would probably buy. I can't see a reason not to buy that amp. Nephilim says, Michael, he got tubes on the way for the WA-22. Nephilim's got a WA-22. Ask him about it. He's getting a Cosser U52 rectifier. I don't know what the tubes are in the WA-22 because it's a different type of amp than I'm used to. And he has a pair of RCA VT231s. They're extremely warm, bass fuzz indeed. I looked at the RCAs. I almost did. I looked at the RCA and I looked at the Sylvania Bad Boy tube. And I settled on that, what is it called? The Ken Rads. because they're presumably they handle bass with a bit more oomph. Allegedly. We'll know when I get them here. I have tungsten round plates. I paid more for the tungsten round plates than I paid for the Ken Rads. So I think I have about $500 into these tungstens. They were new old stock. They're round plate tops, which are very hard to get. Some of the round plates are listed at about $1,000 right now. So I'm not sure I'm going to get a big difference in these things, but we're going to roll tubes and just have some fun with it. I just wanted to try it. I know I have the two best 300Bs on the market right now in-house, which are the power tubes. In the Takatsuki, I have the Takatsuki 300B and I have the Western Electric 300B. Those are the two best 300Bs you can buy. I've not heard the L-Rogs are good, but nobody's beating these TACs except for the Western Electrics. So they're just a slightly different flavor. Not even a huge difference between the two. They're both constructed very similar. But the and then the rectifiers, I have a bunch of rectifiers. I'm running currently the Takatsuki rectifiers on there, but I still have my Millards, which are tiny little baby rectifier tubes, but they're from 1956 and they are metal-based tubes and they sound amazing. They may even sound better than the Takatsukis, but I love the look of the Takatsuki. So, and I also have the Frankenstein. I have a pair of the Frankenstein US Audio. What am I thinking of? US AF 591, 592, whatever it is. Yeah. So there you go. But I have those, and I haven't tried those in a while. I've never had a bad experience with tubes other than L-Rog, the first L-Rog. I've talked about that, how L-Rog totally screwed me over. Everybody bought the first series of L-Rog 300Bs, and then they blew on everybody across the board, and L-Rog went... our fault. What do you mean they all blew? I don't know. And so I'm like, and then when they came out with their subsequent L-Rogs, I'm like, I don't need to patronize a company that will not stand by their work. Considering that Western Electric sent me 300Bs with a 5-year warranty on the things, I'm like, come on, like this is a no-brainer. And Takatsukis are just rock solid. I've never heard of one failing. I've never heard anybody have a talk fail. Okay, I got to keep rolling through this chat, man. I got so much more to do. Sorry, guys. He hopes he never has to replace the tubes in his hi-fi amp. Yeah. Rawl, the ugliest headphones ever. I haven't spent enough time with the Rawl. I'm guilty of that, and I've had so many people ask me to review the Rawl. Somebody have to send it to me, and I don't think Audios 46 carries it. I have a new Audio 46 box here too. Shout out to Rodrigo and the guys over there. They're always sending me good stuff to review. I always appreciate them so much. JTB, his first ZMF was a Verite closed and with a camphor burl wood. That's what I had too. Coolest looking headphone. Yeah, that was a good one. I like the burl. I'm going to go with the burl. Vegan Vicar says the port on those speakers is located in a very strange place. Oh, we're talking about the about a Spade system. Guy-Fi Go Blue is awesome. Yeah, I've got one of those. I have the small little dongle deck though, the small version of that. What a beautiful card trick. Awesome system, loved it. Variety, yeah, he's speaking my language. Yeah, these are great. It's a great setup, man. Eventually I'll get my good setup ready for pictures. Ace of Spades. That's a good setup already, man. That's great. I'm so thrilled you got a great system, man. Yeah, you've got two good systems. Awesome, man. JTB, yeah, those things look ridiculous on the website. Is loving the camphor burl a lot, along with the Blackwood he saw in the Verite. Yeah, just maestro of wood is Zach. JTB, nice. He needs to reach out to them soon. Gashelli. Fareed's going to CanJam London this year to demo the Caldera closed, the AT closed, and the E3. E3 may not work with his N30 LE though. It needs a lot of power. That's the downside of it. It's great sound. It's the best sounding Dan Clark Audio headphone I've ever heard, but it needs a lot of power. And that's not like I was driving. They needed about as much power as the Susvara. Now, they didn't need the quality of power, like the oomph behind it, the power reserve in the amp that the Susvara needs to be driven. But like just on pure amping, they were taking the same that I was feeding the Susvara to get this pretty much the same level. But the asterisk there, the thing that disappoints me is that the E3 presents itself as a portable headphone. It's a headphone you can crunch up, fit in a small box, throw in a backpack, and get on the road. That's my disappointment with the E3, if anything. And probably would keep me from buying them, because my point of buying them would be to be a perfect road headphone, a headphone I would wear on a plane. But I can't drive them with my DAP. I can't just plug them into this. It's not going to make enough volume. So that's what keeps me from buying that headphone, you know. Whereas something like the Mod House, the Tungsten needs a lot to drive it, but it's not intended to be a portable headphone. You see my point? Like its job is to live in an environment with a great big amp. The E3 presents itself as a headphone that should be able to click down into a tiny bundle and go off and do your thing and bring me with you. And you can't do it. Not easily anyway. You're going to need to think it through. It's going to take some thought. Ryan says, thanks. He's off and on, unfortunately. Of course. Ryan, you popping it out of your own pleasure. No worries. We know how busy he is making my special order Tungsten with the metal spacers, split termination XLR, vegan earpads, and whatnot. Hey, Ryan, let me ask you a question if you're still here. Let me ask you a direct question. I probably shouldn't do this on the air, but I'm going to ask you a direct question anyway. Is there a spacer on your Tungsten? I tried doing the trick where you slightly off center the ear pad. Is there a trick to doing that so that the ear pads aren't quite so slidey? Is he talking about like a little insert you could do to kind of get you that little bit of space? I would be down for that if you're selling something like that. I would definitely put my money where my mouth is and try that, because I was trying that the other day, and I was thinking I was getting somewhere, but I was so frustrated by the headphone sliding around on the screws. I'm just like, I wound up going back to the way it normally is. But I would love to try that bass porting thing. Felix Envy, an amazing Endgame tube amp. Sure. Rigo. Send one. Burson Soloist GT here. Oh, Alanetta, that is a great frickin' amp. From the Head-Fi tour, it's pretty great synergy, Caldera closed. Yeah, and the Voyager is, the Voyager is the one. Yeah. That's a phenomenal solid state amp. You're not going to go wrong with that. Or there's a number of great amps. That's playing high. I think that it's right up there with the Ferrum Audio stuff. They make great stuff, and they're great guys at Burson. They're phenomenal. Yeah, nothing but good things to say about Burson. Hipster Cows, he doesn't think the Tungstens are vegan. Ryan is definitely sacrificing goats to get that sound. 100% Black Magic. Hipster Cow with the comment of the day. Cheers, brother. I love that one. I don't think the Tungstens are vegan. Ryan is definitely sacrificing goats to some elder god to get that sound. That's awesome. Notice the special order. He's trying to get bumped up on the list. That's what he's doing. Zach and the ZMF crew are the best, man. Yeah, they are. They're phenomenal down there. And even Ryan would tell you that because he worked so closely with Zach in getting his own business going. They're just good stock. They're good people, and that's the best part about this whole hobby is the people I've met. More so than the headphones and the sound and the music and all the stuff. That's fun, but the people are the difference. The people are what keep me in this and making episodes. It's fun to do, even if they do hate my music, my new custom music. If you haven't already, could you please email me all the options you want along with the Mimic order number? He wants to make sure everything is right in the spreadsheet. Good. Smart. Let's jump down because it's an inside conversation. We don't need if you don't have a Burson amp, Burson contacted me to try some op amps, and man, they are amazing. I've had loose, DJ, I have had loose conversations off and on with Burson. I'm in LA, they're in Australia. It's hard to like get the whole thing together. I have owned a Burson amp in the past. I think the world of Burson. I've never heard a bad Burson product. They do good stuff. So it would be great. I would love to get something in here from Burson. It's just... for me, it's just like I've got such a backlog of shows, and I've got this massive mega show coming up. The next one is going to be huge, guys. Don't set your VCRs on YouTube. You don't want to miss the next episode. It's going to be epic, as epic as the last one was, and the last one was epic. I'm like, geez, I've had a wealth of great. Luck lately and blessings from the universe for this show. I've gotten to hear some really amazing stellar gear, and it's great. It's great. All happy. JTB says there's so many ZMF pads available. You need to find out exactly what those are in the atrium. I will. I'll look it up. I'll look up the order and I'll be able to tell what it is. I don't know if I fart around on Head-Fi threads here and there. Me too. I do the same thing every now and then. Amount of traction support ZMF gets is insane, and deservedly. They may be the most popular and highly regarded headphone company in audio, and earned because, and I think I laid this all out in the last episode. You know, like watch my wrap up of the last episode. It's easy to see what there is about ZMF that makes them so. In fact, it was at the beginning of the episode. I talked about the factors that I think make ZMF so special. And there's a bespoke quality, you get great customer service, you feel like everything is just made for you, and then you have to wait. And I think that there is an art or a beauty in waiting for your stuff. Yes, I'm a woodchuck. Thank you, Ryan. God, I'm so far behind in the chat. We got to blast through some stuff here. Got my slightly used FiO M17 at under half price. Fabulous. I got to look that up again. That's a desktop unit, right? M17. I'm sorry. I've got my FiO. I'm not up on FiO. But I think it's a desktop unit. It's the one without the screen. Gil Renard loves it, but there's a couple of minor issues he needs to solve. Shoot. And I don't have a lot of time. I'm not going to go into it because we've got to get off the air soon. Sorry, guys. We're running out of breath here. Gil Renard was an early adopter at list price. We're talking about the M17. He had overheating issues. Yikes, expensive and a bit bright. The M17, I just haven't, I haven't tried it, and I don't have any lines into FiO stuff, so I won't be able to get it. So this is an inside discussion about the FiO. I'm going to skip that because you guys are talking about it amongst yourselves. Nephilim says, oh yeah, shit, Lokius is awesome. Did I miss one? Shit. Not shit. Okay. Oh, all right, I jumped back. I got to jump back. I started scrolling through this other stuff, and I think I went too far. Read, Michael, read. Which version of the tungsten would you recommend for hard rock and metal, single or double? And Ryan says single. Ken Alpha for $380. That's a pretty good price. Michael, we think you need another tube video. Love the stash you have. You should talk about them more. Amazing stuff. That and your reel-to-reel. I got to get into reel-to-reel. My reel-to-reel has been sad, sitting back there not working. I have the double. I went with the double-sided. I like the control of the double-sided on the tungsten. Everybody's dropping off too. Wow, we had 40 viewers today. That's an all-time record. Guys, that's really cool. Oh, that's awesome, man. I'm glad you guys stopped by. I'm glad everybody stopped by, even if it's just to listen to me fumble a bit on here. So good, man. I didn't realize that, man. We hit I don't think I've ever had 40 viewers at once. That's cool. They were all people who were just looking for, you know, I don't know, something else. Some cartoon. What's the latest YouTube fad? Tide Pod Challenge. That's from a year ago. Okay. Okay. So here we go. Newly released spacers. This is what I'm talking about. This is what I was talking about. Spacers. I need the spacers. How do I get hooked up with the spacers, Ryan? I'll send you a check. Newly released tungsten earpad spacers achieve more bass, he believes. Yes, it's the same as the bass porting. They did this on the Diana for Abyss too. You can create a little gap there, and the gap will allow the bass to kind of give a little more of a percussive, slammy effect. So it's just something that happens when you get a little separation between the cup and the pad behind it. I'm talking about. I pulled all my headphones from the back row. I told you I wasn't going to do it today, and I did it anyway. What we're talking about, guys, is this here, okay? So these pads go on like this, and they lock into place on the screw heads that are around here. So they lock into place. They've got like a set place. Now, what people have been doing and experimenting with, and I read this on, I think it was on Headfi I read this, but you can offset this thing by pulling it out and resting the magnets. So it's still sitting on the magnets. The magnets are still drawing to the plate, but they're a little bit offset, and it creates a little air gap here between the front side of the driver and the back side of the pad. And having that air gap in there increases your bass presence just a little bit. It just gives you a little bit of a zhuzh on the bottom end. And for a bass head like myself, and I'm sure I've got these all misoriented now. No, I don't. Hey, manage that. For a bass head like myself, that's a good thing. So Ryan apparently is working on a spacer to do that naturally, and you can just slip it in or slip it out. And I like that. And Ryan, I'm offering you free credit cards. Free credit card info. You have my credit card info already, I think. But I'll send you some money. I want to get those here. DJ Brobot says, having an E3 on the road would be no issue because he always carries a DAP amp stacked rigs. I guess most people don't like that. Yeah, I think I've been moving away from that. And I still have my WA11 or whatever. You know, the portable amp from Woo, the solid state amp. But space is a premium on the road, and I don't want to carry a big rig, and I don't want to carry a big rig onto an airplane. You know, I'll take a DAP and an IEM, you know, or a DAP and my. I just don't want a big rig like that. I think that it's a problem. And then more than that, I think it got. More than that, it's like how much better they are driven when the E3 is driven when driven by a small amp, small portable amp might get you the volume there, but it won't get you the quality either, you know, of a larger amp. So I don't know. It's just that's my sticking point on the E3. Why I'm not going to buy them. And they're closed back, and I don't unless I'm going to travel with them, which I'm not. I don't have a reason to buy them. But if I was going to buy a closed back, this is going to be probably my prime contender, pending the review I'm going to do on them. I would say early on, like I would sacrifice the space and travel with these because they're super easy to drive. I don't know. I see your point, though. I do see your point, DJ. I guess it's just my personal way of thinking about it. Unfortunately, fortunately, his iFi amp has 3 bass boost settings. Fabulous. Nephilim, oh yeah, Shit Loki or Shit Lokius is awesome. AKPAT 10 amps solves the E3 portability problem. But isn't that a stacked amp that you have to combine with a DAP then? I don't know. I'm trying to get out of the stacked thing. You know what I mean? Like, I don't like to carry a lot of shit with me on the road. Anyway. Vegan Vicar says he was seriously considering the E3 for mobile use, but has decided to use earphones instead, far more convenient. Well, and I have great IEMs. That's my point too, is I have these fabulous IEMs that light up my world and they do all the things. So I don't think I'm more likely. Once in a while, I will travel with my Lyric, Meze Lyric. But that's taking up a lot of room too, because they didn't make those collapsible. Most of the time, I'm just traveling with IEMs, and I have so many great IEMs. I've got the Viking Ragnar here. I've got the K10L, and I've got my USBs, and I've got Canera Nanas 2.0. I haven't upgraded IEMs in a while. I haven't done IEMs in a while. Probably have to get back into them at some point. But I've just been so into all of this stuff, and we've been playing with the amps and stuff. So Rigo says 6mm washer on the 4 screws on the tungsten for sub bass. There you go. Just put a big washer on it. Nephilim says PA in high current mode would do it, especially connecting it to a balanced DAP. Yeah, so you need, it's just, you know, and I have the WA11 which will do that, but then WA11 is a commitment. It's not such an easy thing to carry, so I don't know. The M17 solves any headphone portability issue except something in the HE class of power needs. Nephilim's Brobot says used his own Quest-style DAPs for high current mode for that, and used to run his planers well. He wonders if there's a new $600 DAC amp that would run the E3s. But I want it all. My thing is this: I want it all in one now. I'm to the point where I want it. I want to be compact. You know. I want a headphone and I want a DAP. I don't want to carry a lot of extra stuff. That's just me. I think the days of that stack, you know that the old meme with the guy who's got the giant massive stack for just. I'm like, I just don't want to be that guy. Oh my God, so much. Hey Michael, so the vent adapters that he's sending out now by request are for addressing pressure issues some folks were experiencing, but he needs to work on a better solution for dedicated bass boost. Okay, well Ryan, if you happen to come up with that solution, okay, if you come up with that solution, I will be your guinea pig. 3D print something, my friend. You get an early sale, a guaranteed sale. I just want something so they don't roll around so much. That's all. Because I don't feel like secure with the plate is kind of, it's a little hinky. I would like to do something more substantial. Donard is going to test the tungsten, which is M17 when it arrives. Awesome. Vegan Vicar, he has ear pressure issues even with ported headphones. He suspects it's similar on the tungsten. Many lurkers today. Yeah, I know. I'm not getting all 40 people worth of comments. Of course, we're dropping down now. Now we're settling into our normal. Vegan, he tried his 4-screw HE6 while running it in enhanced mode off the wall socket. Not quite adequate. Michael is definitely breaking wind on hi-fi. I am nothing but hot air, boys. Nothing but hot air. Tide Pod Challenges. Pretty sure that was 7 years ago. I know. Pause. He uses his M17 with the i5 Power Elite. It may work with the tungsten. We're all talking about this portable stuff. It may work with the tungsten. If not, he has a very powerful headphone amp. Yeah, I'm just less about having the big rig on the road, you know. That's just me. Talk about the Tide Pod Challenge. I think that stacked thing where you have a DAP going into a DAC, going into an amp, out, you know, like, it's too much now. I don't think we do that anymore. I think the world has moved past that. Just saying. If the tungsten in HE6 class is even, if tungsten is in HE6 class, then even full 3 watts ain't enough. No, you need 5. The tungsten needs 5. Now this amp can do it, but they're doing some hinky voodoo with the power switch, and I don't know what it is yet. Hinky voodoo, by the way, is a technical term. Look it up. There are 3 settings for, and it says impedance, but I don't think it's impedance. I think there's a gain thing going on there, and I think there's a power thing going on there. I haven't done a deep dive into it yet, but I'm pretty sure that on the Aegis there's a, you know, because it's supposed to be 2 watts, and that shouldn't be enough to power the tungsten, but it is on this one in high power mode. So, but I was also pushing 6 volts into the input side, so maybe it is enough. It's you can get by with 2 if you're pushing an abnormally high output of your source. Most sorts sends 2 volts out, and I jumped that to 6 volts, and then it will the amp is plenty for driving the tungsten. Anyway, God. Guys, I'm running out of steam. I'm just trying to get through the chat so we can say goodbye and go on our way. Pixel Power has linear audio supply. How much did that cost? We're talking about this stuff. I love stacking on the couch. Yes. I like stacking on a table. I don't like stacking in an airline seat. Depends on how loud you listen and the specs of your DAC and amp. Yeah. But, and again, guys, pushing the power out of the DAC, upping that voltage, that will help you with a lesser powered amp get over the hump. Because I can do that. You know, this is only a 2 watt amp, but it goes way beyond that because I'm pushing the output of the DAC higher, so I can get the volume I need on it. Okay. Last few, then we're going to say goodbye. My power supply has 400% increase in power supply capacitance. I'm not sure what you're saying there. His power supply has a 400% increase in power supply capacitance for the adaptive multi-mode controller. How can something have more than 100%? Oh, I see. I don't know. But you know, again, the key is controlling the input side to your amp. You can you can up the voltage on the input side to the amp, and then you will get a greater output without pushing gain on the outset. I can get, you know, I can drive. You can pretty much drive the tungsten on any average amp if it's got a high gain setting, but you're also pushing grain and you sacrifice a lot of sound quality. My idea is, you know, you want to keep the gain down, power up, gain down, so that you're pushing a clean signal. Sorry, my brain is getting scrambled now. We're getting too deep into this live stream. Everybody wants to go home. Okay. Look on HeadFi, Mike, in the Show Your Portable Stack thread, they're far from dead. Maybe I think they should be. Maybe I think they should be dead. Maybe that's my thing. Maybe I'm trying. Viva la revolution. Let's go back to just adapt. It's just I travel. The other thing is that I've traveled more since those days, and bringing a stack with you on the road is just a pain in the butt. It's just, and it's ridiculous on a plane. Everybody looks at you funny. I don't want to be looked at funny. Who's that funny guy? I don't find the FiO M17 bright at all. His FiO K7 definitely bright. He's comparing the S17 Pro, the AUN 17 Pro now. Oh, Vegan Vicar. Yep, boy, we're getting. These are all these portables things. So this may work with this LCD. Jesus. Okay, you guys got way into the weeds on the portable stuff today. I'm not, I just want to be simple on the road. I just want to have a player, whatever it be. I've even done because of the revolution in the quality of the sound of the Bluetooth IEMs, particularly the Focal, the Mystique. I know I opened the Triumph last week and it was a little less than excited about it, but I'm perfectly fine doing that on the road these days. I just want to take less stuff. That's what it is. But I don't want to carry a big stack for the E3. The E3 is not going to be in the director's garage stable, I don't think, anytime soon. But again, we've had some great experiences lately with some other quality closebacks that aren't so hard to drive. These are just large. I mean, it's hard to travel with this too. You're going to have to take a whole case with you. So, and even the Lyric, like when you fold the Lyric down, it's still not like the smallest case on the planet. You know what I mean? On his desktop. Stacking will forever be a thing with him, Nephilim says. Frit and specialized components and a sound chain to lead greater sound quality, just my experience. I'm not saying that one is better or not. I'm just saying my personal preference. I just got tired of carrying the big things, carrying all the things. But I do love that this chat is on fire today. You guys had a whole thing going on, a sub-conversation that was brilliant, and that's what I like. I like sparking the conversations and keeping them going. But to be fair, this show has been more geared toward desktop stuff. Again, somebody had asked me about some IEMs and things, and I just haven't been as into it lately because I just haven't had stuff coming in. You know, I've got some stuff on order, but it's kind of been vaporware for a long time. It's stuff that I wanted to try, but it just hasn't shown up, and I've never been charged for it. So I will probably get back into it. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Plus, I love to do me a Noble episode every now and again, so maybe that'll be surprising. I want to hear their Noble over-ears, though. That's another thing that I'm just waiting to get a knock on the email door saying, hey, can we send you a pair of our Apollos? Because that would be interesting, too. But I've been in the more IEM thing on the road and nixing the over-ears. Just me. JTB is not an IEM fan. He doesn't like sticking anything inside his ears. Oh, JTB, you don't know the pleasure that's... I wasn't either. I had to find the right tips. The tips are everything with the IEMs, and it took me... I had to find the 10 Mac turbos and then the Dakoni bullets that are more like earplugs. They're made out of the memory foam. It wasn't, that was the changeover for me. That was when I started getting into it. And I also had a pair of customs for a long time I was taking on the road, but they sounded like ass. They were not a good listening pair of IEMs. It's before I knew what I was doing. It was before the show. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap it up because I am just punch drunk right now and I'm skipping over stuff and it's getting ugly. So let's start wrapping the show up, and I'm going to see you guys. I'm going to have an episode I'm going to be shooting in the next couple of days. It's going to be that big, massive flight case back there. I can't wait to check that out. Can't wait to share that with you guys. Thank you guys so much for stopping by today and spending a little bit of your time with me. It means a lot. And tip your waiters and waitresses on the door. Make sure you're recycling those bottles and cans. And I'm going to see you guys on the other side. I'll see you before you know it. I'm going to get out of here. Go get some dinner.